What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel where we look to cash in on some NFL underdog bets every week of the NFL season. After two really good weeks, I crashed back down to 500, going 3-3 in week 11. I hit on the Raiders, the Bears, the Chargers. I whiffed on the Steelers, the Vikings, the Jets. To all of those Jets fans out there, I heard all of those hearts breaking in the final 12 seconds when you lost it on that punt return for a touchdown. We are turning the page to week 12 of the NFL season. There are lots of underdogs to be bet on. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment down below. For anyone else who follows my other social media, which I have linked down below, go give those a follow because I do post daily NHL and NFL bets. This week we're riding with the, again, underdog Steelers being given 2.5 points against the Colts. We're riding with the home underdog Titans being given 2.5 points against the Bengals. The Saints being given a whopping 9.5 points against the 49ers. We're looking at my Raiders being given 3.5 points against Seattle Seahawks. We're looking at the Panthers being given 2 points against the Donkeys. And we're looking at the Falcons being given 4.5 points against the Commanders. If you're new to my channel, let me explain quickly how I do things. I pick underdog bets for the NFL. I pick underdog bets throughout the NFL season, and I give you one stat as to why I'm picking the teams that I'm picking. Let's start locking in some bets. I love being given Titans home underdog bets. Outside of Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Vrabel is a cover king. Titans, I think, have to be one of the most underrated teams this season. Nobody's talking about them. This is also a revenge spot for the Titans. Everybody has to remember the playoffs last season, the Bengals beating the Titans. The Titans ended up turning the ball over something like 4 times. So I got home underdog Titans. I got revenge spot. Stat of the game for this game. Since Mike Vrabel has become a head coach, he has the most games won as an underdog. That number being 21. His against the spread record, 24-14. Bonus stat for this game, Mike Vrabel coming off extended rest. Everybody remember, they played the Packers last Thursday. Vrabel's 9-0. I'm going to be locking in the Titans as plus 2.5 right now. Everybody must know by now I love my Atlanta Falcons underdog bets also. They had that hot start to the season covering every game that they were playing. They've cooled down since then. Their total for the year right now, 6-4 against the spread. But how Washington is catching 4.5 points, I don't know. Taylor Heineke against the spread has been a good quarterback, but he's still a backup quarterback, and 4.5 points is way too much against a Falcons team that doesn't stop. One thing that is surprising about Atlanta is the amount of weapons that they've managed to acquire. Kyle Pitts, who is out for the season, Drake London, but Cordell Patterson has to be the MVP of this team this season. He has put this team on his back. He was out with an injury for a little while. He has not skipped a beat since coming back. So, stat for this game, Cordell Patterson, 7 career touchdowns of 100+ yards. No one else in NFL history has more than 3. Bonus stat for Cordell Patterson, just recognizing history last week. He broke the all-time NFL record for career kickoff returns for touchdowns. He has 9 on his career. He broke his tie with Josh Cribbs and Leon Washington. Falcons plus 4.5, locking that bet in right now. A lot of people called me crazy last week for backing the Raiders against the Broncos. It was definitely one of my better bets of the weekend. I also ended up putting some money down on that money line. Look, no secret that I'm a Raiders fan, but I predicted last week that it was going to be a get-right spot. They're catching 3.5 points against the Seahawks. The hook here is very important. The 3.5, I think, is the key number. The Raiders have not been getting blown out. They've been playing one-score games. Before playing the Broncos last weekend, they were 0-6 in one-score games. They're now 1-6 because they did beat the Broncos, still a one-score game. They're playing close games. A lot of their games are coming down to 1 point, 2 point, 3 points. Stat of the game for this game, just recognizing what Derek Carr did last week. Derek Carr is now 8-2 career in overtime games. It's the best winning percentage by any quarterback with 10+ overtime games in their career. Right behind him, second best, Tom Brady. Derek Carr is keeping good company with this stat. He plays close games. He's a come-from-behind quarterback. I'm backing the Raiders as 3.5 point underdogs against the Seahawks, locking that bet in right now. Speaking of those Broncos, I think we are in a perfect fade spot against the Broncos again. Panthers, 2.5 point underdogs against the Broncos. I was going to stay away from this game. I was going to play the under. That was it. Until they announced Sam Darnold as quarterback. 2.5 point underdogs against a terrible Broncos team. Stat of the game in terms of fading the Broncos right now are 3-7. 8 of those games, they haven't scored 18 points. 4 of them, they've scored exactly 16 points. 4 of their losses would be wins if they scored 18 points. I think this is probably going to be a horrible game, but I'm still backing the Panthers as 2.5 point underdogs against the Broncos. Locking that bet in right now. We are looking at a Saints team that is catching 9.5 points against the 49ers. The 49ers, who I do believe could be the best team in the NFC. But 9.5 points is way too high in this game. Jimmy Garoppolo is playing really good for the 49ers right now. And like I said, I think they could be the best team in the NFC. But stat of the game for this game, Jimmy Garoppolo still is only 2-6-1 against the spread as more than a touchdown favorite. Bonus stat for this game, Kyle Shanahan is a favorite, 18-28-1. The trends don't suggest that they're going to cover 9.5 points against the Saints. I'm backing the Saints as 9.5 point underdogs. I'm going to lock that bet in right now. Outside of the Falcons, I don't know even how many times I've backed the Steelers as underdogs this season. They are 2.5 point underdogs against the Colts. They kept it close against a good Bengals team last week. I know I lost that bet, but the Bengals pulled away late. It's not like the Steelers were blown out. The Colts, Jeff Saturday, now their head coach. But if I have Jeff Saturday and I have Mike Tomlin, and you're telling me that Mike Tomlin is an underdog against Jeff Saturday, I'm going to be backing Mike Tomlin as the underdog every single day. Stat of the game for this one, I'm pounding another Mike Tomlin trend. 39-17-1 against the spread as an underdog from week 5 on. 17-4 against the spread when he's lost at least 2 of the last 3 games. I'm backing the Steelers as 2.5 point underdogs against the Colts. Locking that bet in right now. That's it. Week 12. Let's quickly recap the bets for the week. We got the Falcons as 4.5 point underdogs against the Commanders. We have the Panthers being given 2 points against the Donkeys. We have the Raiders 3.5 point underdogs against the Seahawks. We're backing the Saints as 9.5 point underdogs against the 49ers. We got the Titans as home underdogs being given 2.5 points against the Bengals. And we're finishing our week off with the Steelers as 2.5 point underdogs against the Indianapolis Colts. Again, everybody, subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below. You like my bets, you don't like my bets, you just want to talk some football. All comments are welcome. Thank you for watching the video. Everybody go lock in your bets and enjoy week 12 of the NFL season. See you next time.